Welcome back to the shop, everyone. So I've been on YouTube for about 2 months now, just under, and we're coming up on 100 subscribers. And I just wanted to say thank you to all of you who watch my videos, who have subscribed, and who comment. I've actually learned some stuff from all the comments, so I'm very appreciative of that. And going forward, I can see this channel growing considerably. So just based off of what I've seen here, it's not growing really fast, but it's steady, and that's kind of what I want. With that being said, I am investing more into the channel. You know, obviously you don't want to put a lot of money or anything into something that you know is going to go nowhere. But what I've done is I've picked up a set of microphones here off of Amazon, and I think that'll help a lot with the quality, because what I find is I'll be making a video and I'll be this distance from you guys and I'll speak louder, and then I'll get closer up and I'll video something really close to, and I'll be close to the phone, and what I find is I continue to scream, so the audio is just all over the place. So this microphone setup will let me speak at a consistent volume all the time, and we won't have to worry about the volume fluctuations, and it should make for better content. And that's my goal. I want to make good content for you guys to watch, and I want to make sure you enjoy it. So I look forward to investing more and more as the channel grows and more people watch my videos. I want to go ahead and move on. I got some stuff I want to talk about here. One being that old homemade wood stove. I had a lot of comments on that, and I want to kind of go over some stuff that maybe I left out of context in that last video, and just kind of explain to you guys why I think what I think. And then I'll move on and we'll talk about the next project, which is going to be a lot of fun. It's something that I've been needing to do for probably the last 10 years, and I'm just going to get around to it and get it done now. Alright, so this old wood stove here, this homemade wood stove, I bought from a guy who owned a welding shop. He built this thing out of 1/4-inch steel, and it's actually a furnace and not a stove. If you look behind here, you've got a fan and a blower, and so he built this to heat his barn, which was probably about half the size of what I've got, and actually it heats mine very well when it works right. But what one of the comments I got talked about this here, and the way I put the pipe on, which is the way he designed it to go on, would have been upside down, and they are correct. And so when I go ahead and change this 6-inch pipe out to 8-inch, I'm going to cut this out and I'm going to weld a new piece on so that I can flip that pipe upside down and put the crimped part towards the stove, kind of like this one here. So that's one change I'm going to make, and just make it right. Another comment I got was, it's not the wood stove, it's the pipe. So it's the chimney. And the only thing I can say to that is that I've had 2 other wood stoves on this chimney setup, and they both worked fine. This stove never worked fine for the guy that built it. He actually made some modifications to it, because, let me open this up and show you. If you look up under here, that hole back in the back there was never there. He cut this hole so that, and you just see bricks there. I shoved bricks up in there because that actually helped out. But that hole was originally there so the flame would come to that hole, and then it would travel along this ridge until it went out the pipe. And he said it worked even worse when it was just that hole, so he ended up cutting the one in the back there, and that helped out a lot. The way this is designed is you've got all these pipes here that run from a chamber down in the bottom here, and when your blower blows through those chambers, the air comes up through these pipes, and comes to a chamber in the top here, which then comes out of your ductwork, which, like I say, is what makes it a furnace. Anyways, back on topic. This firebox is 32 by 32 by 24 wide. So being that big and only having a 6-inch pipe to exhaust is one of the main reasons I think that stepping the pipe up to 8-inch will help to exhaust all that smoke a lot better. That is an awful big burn chamber. So I think the first step is to just step that up to an 8-inch, and we'll see what happens. Maybe I'm wrong. If I am, you guys can say I told you so. But being that everything else I've put on this pipe, 2 other stoves, has drafted fine. I've never had a backdraft incident. And that, going on to the next comment, was that my pipe outside doesn't go above the peak of the barn by 3 or 4 feet, which is correct. And actually, if I did that, I would have to run guide wires. And the other part of that is I've only got single wall pipe outside. So I can only imagine how much creosote could build up in a pipe that's that tall, because the peak of my barn is pretty tall. So what I want to point out is that my barn faces south. And the whole idea behind putting the pipe up above the peak is that wind won't be able to come up over the roof and then back down and blow down the chimney, which causes the backdraft. When we get southern winds, it's warm enough that I don't have the fireplace on. When I'm worried about it is when we get the western and the northern winds in the wintertime, which is 99% of the time, that's what we're getting, is northern and western winds in winter. So, like I said, I've never had backdraft issues ever. I don't want to put it up that high. Being single wall outside, it'll cool off too fast before it reaches the peak, and it'll create more creosote. The pipe is higher by 1 section than it was when I moved in here. So that obviously this isn't done properly. It's not perfect, but there is double wall going through the wall, you know, and it's 8-inch double wall. And when I do change out this pipe to 8-inch, I'm going to replace that double wall piece going through there. I might even go with triple wall, but I'm going to go ahead and replace everything. And I'll probably go ahead and do double or triple wall outside and make it right, you know. But this is what I've got right now, and we're working with it. Another comment I got was, get yourself a magnetic thermometer. I don't know that they didn't see that in the video, but I did have this one on the pipe coming out of here. And I always burned it. Believe it or not, I would have that sucker up to 700 degrees a lot. And I know that was over firing, but you know, that wood stove works very well, so you just had to keep an eye on it. Another thing is that somebody commented that the wood looks charred up there. It is. That was like that when I moved in, and I am going to go ahead and put cement board all the way up when I redo it. When I put all 8-inch, when I get this working correctly, I am going to go ahead and put cement board all the way up and make it so that we don't have to worry about any fires. I'm not worried about it. I've taken temperatures of the pipe up there. It's not high enough. I've also taken temperature of the wood. It's not high enough to combust or catch on fire. I've never had an issue with that. My guess is the previous owner probably, you know, fired it up, left it open, and then just left for the day and had a chimney fire there. And that's why it's like that. So believe me, I've taken that into account. I'm not worried about anything burning down, and it is what it is for now. But somebody mentioned these intake pieces here and how the air can come in and then go right up past the door, and that could cause the drafting issue, which I had not thought about. So maybe that is correct, and it might be something we'll have to address. When I do step that up to 8-inch. These are all fire bricks. Boy, it's hard to see. That I put in here because originally it was just an open grate. The ashes would fall down into the ash pan. But being that I put bricks in there and closed it off a little bit, made this firebox even smaller, that's when I could actually open the door about 1 inch and it would start drafting from the door and wouldn't just smoke you out. Without those fire bricks in there, taking up some of that space, this thing, you couldn't open the door. It would just, all the smoke would come out of the door then. So that's another reason I think that the firebox is too big for the pipe. So one other thing I noticed on this wood stove is the previous guy, it looks like, if you look up here, those are nuts right here. There's one there, and then there's one on this side. Those are, I think, 1/2-inch nuts that were welded on there. And I think what he had done is probably put some kind of a door on a hinge so that it would swing back and forth and kind of hopefully keep that smoke from coming out of the door and going up the chimney. And my guess is that didn't work out too well for him and ended up taking that back off. But I just happened to notice that one day when I was refinishing this and couldn't help but think about it. So you guys let me know, am I on the right track? Do you think what I'm saying is correct, or is there something I'm missing? You know, comment below and let me know. I will put a link in the description to the video where this wood stove wouldn't draft correctly, and if you want to go back and watch it, it'll be down there for you to click on. Here we go. This is what we're going to be working on. This tractor has been sitting here, or just sitting around, for probably 10 years. I know it runs, it's a good tractor. I started restoring it. I took this whole thing down to the frame, got all the rust off, sandblasted everything, repainted it, and I ended up stopping. What stopped me was I ran out of this color, which was, they call it lobster red, but it's an orange. And it was the closest thing I could find to the original Jacobsen color. And for some reason, that color just went off the market. It was gone. So I painted this with the next closest color I could find, and it is more of a red. It's hard to tell on camera, but this color does not match that color. So what we're going to have to do here is sand this down and repaint it lobster red. I did end up finding a case of it on Amazon. It was kind of expensive, but you know, it is what it is. We're going to have to fix it. This hood is going to need fixed. We're going to have to sand it down again, and I'm going to paint it. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and tape over the decals and try to tape those off before I paint it. And I hope that that looks okay. But I don't know where you find decals for this tractor, so I'm just going to do it like that. We are going to have to make a new seat for this pan and a new back. And if you guys watched the other Jacobsen video I did on the repairs, I do have all that material to go ahead and make that seat. This is pretty neat. I made myself an aluminum shifter knob. When I got this, it didn't have one on it. So I turned that down on a lathe and threaded it on there, and I like it. It works very well. It's heavy enough. The only thing is it's cold. When it's cold outside, to grab that, you better have gloves on. So obviously the steering wheel isn't original. It's just a racing steering wheel for a car, but that's okay. So this is our next project. I want to finish this tractor up and make it usable. Let's see if I don't know if it's over here or not. I have a mower deck for it. Here it is. So underneath this shelf here, I have the mower deck for it. So I'm going to pull that out too. And we're going to go ahead and get the rust off of that, repaint it, and put it on. And we'll make it a mowing tractor. Not like I need it, right? With that monster. But it came with it. We're gonna put it on and we're gonna make this thing right. Maybe we'll even show it at the fair. We'll see how it goes. So that's the next project. I'm gonna dig it out of this spot here and get it to an open space where I can work on it. And we'll start getting at it. So I know a lot of you guys subscribed to the videos I made, the original videos that were the Jacobsen repair videos. It was a 4-part series that I made. And that was that other old one that I don't know what I'm going to use it for yet. It's still sitting out back. But anyways, this new Jacobsen video ought to interest you guys. If you're new to this channel, please take the time to like and subscribe, even comment. And there's going to be a lot of good things coming down the pipe. Right now it's winter time out. You know, we're kind of confined to the shop here. And we're just finding little things to do here and there. I do have a pretty big project going on inside. We're remodeling the living room. So that's taken up a lot of my time. I also work, you know, so I have a job. And I do this on my spare time. So I'd appreciate any of your support that you can give me. So we'll see you on the next video when we tear into this Jacobsen restoration project and finally finish it up.